So the New Seasons Youth Program is on a mission to find academically gifted students across Africa and the Caribbean and give them access to education opportunities in the USA. So we're doing these workshops to try and empower international students to get access to career options and explore that area. So today we're doing our third workshop of the month, and we have four amazing speakers. The first one, we have Kutemwa. Kutemwa is a senior major at Xavier University of Louisiana. She is passionate about green chemistry research and bettering the international student experience beyond Xavier University. One of Kutemwa's proudest accomplishments has been building F1 Careers, which is a website for international student internships and career advice, which has now over 1,000 users. Whether it's through a YouTube channel or peer mentorship, Kutemwa loves to share student and career advice. She also serves as an SAT tutor for the New Seasons Youth Program. In the past, Kutemwa has interned at the University of Notre Dame and the University of California, Davis, and has plans to pursue a PhD in chemistry. Outside of music, Kutemwa loves to sing, play the guitar, and also dabbles in graphic design. Our other speaker, Mr. King, is a sophomore double majoring in computer science and cybersecurity at the last year's Grambling State University. King is deeply passionate about the intersection of finance and technology. And what I find most impressive about King is his work ethic. King has secured an internship at the end of his freshman year with NSYP, which is a leading cybersecurity firm, and has been accepted into prestigious and highly competitive flying programs and conferences by companies such as Jane Street. He believes that everyone, especially international students, can successfully navigate the tech space if given the right information. Outside of class and career, King enjoys playing the bass guitar and football. So with that, I'll hand over to our speakers today, King and Kutemwa.
Okay, hello everyone. Just to make sure you can hear me, my network is not so horrible. So thank you all for joining today. I'm King. I'll be co-heading the session with Kutemwa.
Kutemwa, can you hear King? I think maybe it's a network issue.
The network, yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, my name is King. I'm a sophomore at Grambling Research University studying computer science. I actually ended up dropping my cybersecurity double major and instead picked a minor in business management for personal reasons. So yeah, Kutemwa is going to cover the rest of the other things. I'm actually very much in a rush, so I'm going to be a little bit pacey. I'm currently in California.
Yeah, King, I don't think we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think my network is a bit shaky. Give me a sec. Okay. Just to be clear, can you hear me again?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. For the last time, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, sorry about that. The network on this hotel isn't the best. So I'll be covering tips to stand out on LinkedIn and how to leverage your network on LinkedIn. First thing first, I would love to say is when it comes to LinkedIn, your network is a bigger component than standing out, because my philosophy is you can't stand out if you are not surrounded by the right network, right? So when we say, oh, you need to stand out, you need to stand out, it's essential that you stand out in the right audience or stand out amongst the right people so that you're reaching across and your message is being passed across. Before I proceed, can I still be heard? Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, so let's run through your network real quick. So who should be in your network, right? This is I break it down into 3 parts, and this has been my mantra since I started this whole thing. And the first thing is people that are where you are, right? Those are the people, first set of people you want in your network. Second is people that are where you want to be. And third is people that can get you where you want to be. Those are the 3 categories of people that you should have in your network. Now, people that are where you are. When I tell people this, it's kind of viewed from the wrong perspective, right? And but fortunately or unfortunately, that is kind of how I work. I view life as a race, right? And to me, it is very essential that you are connected with people that are where you are, so you can evaluate your performance across the board and know how well you're doing. Not exactly viewing them as competition or people you're competing against, but using them as measurement metrics, right? So if my peer is doing this, the person is doing this, okay, this is where I am. Is there more I can do to raise my stance, right? So that's just how I view it. So for me as an HBCU student, a sophomore, people that's where I am will be fellow sophomores like me, not just in my school, but across HBCUs or across other universities. I specifically said across HBCUs because you don't want to be connected, you don't want to be evaluating yourself against sophomores at Harvard, at MIT. They have a different academic setting than you, and there's some things that are available to them that might not be available to you. So using them as a metric is just kind of like a waste of time. So yeah, people that are where you want to be. These are students in similar academic situations like you who have gotten to places you want to be. So using myself as an example would be a fellow HBCU students that has interned in a big tech company, or a fellow HBCU student that's worked in finance or probably quant, worked in Wall Street, right? Those are guys that I know that's passed through the same circumstances that I did, right? Were groomed through the same system I was groomed, right? And achieve certain things, right? You don't want to be looking at the Princeton guy that works at D Shaw now, or the MIT guy that is working at Jane Street, because they didn't really have the same circumstances as you. There's a lot of things that are available to him that are not available to you. So yeah, that's where you want to be. Then let me stop here real quick and just talk on this. When it comes to the whole networking thing and the whole LinkedIn thing, I find it very paramount, right? That it's essential that you know how to pick information quickly and as soon as possible. It's essential that you know how to scrape information across various sources, right? Those of you into programming probably know what you call web scraping. And why it is essential is that, to be fair, I believe sometimes you don't. How will I phrase this in the most understandable way? Being able to leech, being able to extract information from people and sources is the number one way you can thrive in the tech, not just the tech space, but across the board, right? You see, like here I talked about a fellow ABC student that have entered a big tech, right? So you see a junior that, let's say, goes to Finland, Smith University, and has entered at Google probably once or twice. If I were to leech on him, I will go to his profile, right? I will check every program he's did. I will check his posts, check what he's did. I'm like, what did What did he do to get here? What can I extract from him that I can add to my own self, to my own journey, right? What can I pick up from this person? What can I pick up from that person? I did that so much, I would literally go to people's resumes. Oh, what's the format of your resume? What can I extract from here? What's the format of your LinkedIn? Is there any way I need to format my LinkedIn better? Is there some programs that I did, some flying programs that I know that I want to be interested in? I take note of every single one of them and I put it probably in a spreadsheet and then start working towards this. Because being able to successfully leach and extract information from people like these or from sources like these is the number one way to succeed just like them, right? Doing what they did, following what they're doing, right? Okay. Now, people that can get you where you want to be. In conclusion, that is basically recruiters. And to a great degree, industry professionals who can help you navigate the whole process. But mostly recruiters. I'm kind of tech oriented since I'm a tech person, but I'm trying to make sure I'm carrying everyone along, including the non-tech majors here. And recruiters. This that the final piece. That the final piece of everything, right? Before I came to the US last year, I started connecting with recruiters on LinkedIn, right? I reached out to you. I said, my name is King. I'm a rising freshman. I go to Grambling Shades. I'm going to be studying this. I would love to connect with you. I want you to be part of my network. And maybe I was doing too much then, but then I would send approximately almost 50 invitations to recruiters every day, right? And to show you that it's not really a magic trick, if I send 50, the chance of 5 accepting my invitation was even super low. So there's a very high chance of a low outcome. But by persistent, just keep connecting with them, you can actually make headway. Now I attached 3 examples here now to show you 3 different scenarios of how connecting to a recruiter can be. The first one by the left, I sent to a recruiter at NVIDIA. That was 2 months ago. Till now, she's not accepted my invitation. I have some who have sent over a year ago and have not accepted my invitation to show you that it's not a magic trick. It just doesn't happen overnight, and it's still there till now. The second one is one who did accept my invitation but couldn't really give me what I was looking for, right? And the third one to my right, is actually how I got my internship, right? So I didn't get my internship to the traditional way of applying to a program, going through series rounds of interviews and all that, right? It was through reaching out, right? So I reached out to the recruiter and said, yo, I've attached my portfolio, I've been meaning to spare. I'd love to hear from you. And then she said, oh, let's set up a call. I'd love to talk to you, right? And through this LinkedIn reach out, through this recruiter reach out, I was able to get the internship which I had over the summer. So it's very essential, not just to communicate with them, but you would want recruiters in your network because trust me, they're watching you. You don't know it, but they're watching your every move. They're watching your development. They're watching what you're doing, right? They're watching every step you're taking. They're watching over time. Funny thing is, now that I'm a sophomore, I had recruiters who had sent invitation, connection requests to last year. I had some of them start accepting me this year. Why? Because number one, I'm now more of a student. And number two, I've seen the progress I've made over time. Because accepting a 1 year plus invite, it shows that that was not by chance, that was very intentional, right? So you just want them to be on your radar. These are the people that you want to notice. These are the people that you want to notice your every step and every movement. Why? Because at the end of the day, there are people that can change things, right? There are people that can tweak things for you in a matter of seconds or minutes. Now that you have a network, how can you stand out? Number one way is to always post your achievements. I think it's essential that you post. Some people don't believe in that, but I'm a huge believer in posting your achievements and your progress on LinkedIn because, like I said, there are people watching you. There are people monitoring everything you're doing, right? Number two is to keep in touch with those you've connected with. If you're connected with recruiter over a while, feel free to say, oh, how have you been? I'd love to use my resume. I want to learn a bit more about this company or this and this and that. Not necessarily because you want to learn more about the company, but because you want to You just want to resurface back on your radar, right? Tell them, yo, I'm still right here, right? So in case if you have lost track of me, I'm still right there. I don't want you to lose me. Then last one is to have an updated header. I think it's quite essential to have your header updated with briefly detailing your achievements, right? Stating what you've done, and because when recruiters are running through LinkedIn connection requests, they see your name, they see your header, right? So having a captivating header that encompasses almost everything you have done, that sells you in 2 seconds, is another great way to stand out. Now, forgive the use of a curse word here, but the most essential way to stand out is to be that guy. You really have to be that guy, right? There's no two way about it. You can apply every single thing you've done. Oh, I mean, if you have no achievements, what are you updating on your header? If you have no thing you are accomplishing, what are you posting on your LinkedIn? It's very, very, very essential that you make extra effort to be top of it all, right? My philosophy is average is failure. You are either good or you're bad. There's nothing like, oh, I'm just right there. Nah, you failed. It's very essential to be the best of the best. It's very essential to position yourself in a way that you are irresistible. It's very essential that you stand above the crowd, that you can easily distinguish you and say, oh, this person is that guy, right? It's very essential that whenever there is need for anything, they can call you and say, oh, if it's as regards CS, you want to speak to that guy. If as regards bio, you want to speak to that guy. If as regards finance, this is your guy to go to. Why is it very essential for that? Because people are watching you. People are watching you. They really are watching you. You just have to be the best. You have to be different from everyone, right? And that's I'm going to reference back to what I said about connecting with people on where you are, right? If you notice that you are on the same level or you are less than what everybody in your group is doing, right? Your fellow sophomores, your fellow freshmen, your fellow ABC students, and you notice that you're around the same level with them, then you know you're doing something wrong, right? You know you're doing something wrong. You need to be top, right? If you are top in a way that you can easily distinguish yourself from the rest of them, trust me, then other people can. You need to always put in the work that you are standing right above everything. Now, this, what I just said there is probably the most effective way to stand out, by just being that guy, right? Every other thing I said about, oh, this, and this, and this are all results of this, right? And you need to get to a point where you have risen effectively well, that not only now are you now begging for people to notice you, but they instantly start noticing you, right? I'll tell you a few screenshots of where I've had recruiters from across the board reach out to me. I have a lot more from personal emails, right? When you put in the work and you stand above everyone else, trust me, people will notice you. The right people will notice you. They're gonna reach out to you. They're gonna tell you, oh, I want you in this opportunity. I want you to learn more about this. I want you to know more about this. This, and this. I'm sure you'll be interested in this. Reach out to me about this, right? So when you've effectively put in the work, you want to get to the point where you're no longer the one trying so much to connect with these people, but they're not putting in conscious effort to connect with you. You want to get to the point you can effectively switch roles in which you have positioned yourself so well that you're no longer the hunter, but you're being the hunted, right? Now, before I conclude, I'm going to go back to what I said right here. leech. If you've been following me effectively and you actually picked anything I said about leeching, some of you would have extracted names of some recruiters, which I just displayed now. Some of you would have noticed formats in which I used to text people. Some of you would have noticed how I placed my header and have taken down notes on how you can do something about yours. It's very, 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 very essential you learn how to leech and extract information in the slightest instance you get. Never let anything pass you by. You see it, you write it down. You see it, you write it down, right? So yeah, thank you for listening to my short talk. We're going to, all these things I just talked about right now can really not be achieved if you have not positioned yourself well, right? If you don't have an optimal LinkedIn profile, and if you don't have some very fundamental and essential things, you can't even thrive if you have not done the basic fundamentals. So I'm going to be switching back to Kutemwa. She's going to be covering all these things and teaching you how to optimize and position your LinkedIn profile in a very effective way. So please, if you have any questions for me, I unfortunately won't be able to take them today. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn, ask me anything. I might take a little bit of time, but I will ensure to always and always respond to any DM I get. Thank you guys for having me, and have a fantastic day ahead.
Thank you, King. And thank you, Lighten, for the amazing introduction. So as King said, he gave a very good, wait, let me figure this out. He gave a very good breakdown of having the big picture, why are we interested in LinkedIn, who's watching, and those important things. But as he also said, it's not possible for you to stand out if your profile doesn't accurately display who you are as a person. So first of all, I'm curious to know how many of us are on LinkedIn? And if you want to raise your hand, you can, or type in the chat. But how many of us actually have a LinkedIn profile? Okay. I see a good number of us. Okay. Great. So first of all, the biggest thing is, what is LinkedIn? I'm sure we already know what it is, but it's important to have like an actual, like to know what the impact of LinkedIn is, right? It's the world's largest professional network, first of all. And there's multiple things. I was very surprised to see like these facts over here. First of all, can you guys see my cursor? Because I might be like circling and you can't even see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have over 90 million senior influencers among 610 million members. Every day, people spend about 17 minutes. That's a lot of time to be on an app. So the point is that it's really like there's so much that can be done from LinkedIn, and it's so important that we're doing our best to get the most out of it. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can create a profile, of course. That's like your corner where everyone is coming just to see you, to see who you are, to see your accomplishments. And as King said, you can do the very amazing and diverse network on LinkedIn. You can share your journey. You can join groups and follow pages. You can find jobs. This part says there's about 55 job applications submitted per second. Like, yeah, LinkedIn has really provided me with so many opportunities that I've applied for. So it's really an amazing platform. And there's also courses and certifications that you can use. But yeah, the biggest thing is completing your profile. So we've seen how many people have a LinkedIn profile, but how many of us have a completed LinkedIn profile? And you can again raise your hand or type in the chat. Have you completed your profile? No one? Okay, I see one person. Okay. Okay, I see a few people who, so the number has definitely gone down from the people who have LinkedIn to the people who've completed their profile. And it's really important. LinkedIn is like a job interview that's ongoing. Like you never know who's going to stumble across your profile. First of all, I hope we know that you can actually see who's viewed your profile. Like even if you don't have the premium, you can set it to where you can see the last 5 people who viewed your profile. And I have that setting on. It always surprises me to see like the random people who will be viewing my profile. But the biggest thing is right now I'm currently applying for jobs, and I put my LinkedIn profile in the header of my CV. I'll be sharing about that in the resume, workshop. But like, I thought no one would actually look up my LinkedIn, but like, it's like I submit my application today to this national lab, and then tomorrow I see, oh, someone from this national lab viewed your LinkedIn profile. Like, they are watching, as King said. And not only that, like, there's multiple people who are seeing your profile, right? Recruiters are actively looking for people. Your peers are looking for people to connect with. Like King said, it's important to also have peer connections. And there's also people who are already connected with you, who are just saying like, oh, what progress have you made? Like, literally, some people will connect with you because they want to see like, oh, what's your journey? Like, what's your path? What amazing things are you doing? Then imagine you haven't updated it in like 3 years, like, you know. So the point is, it's always like someone is always watching all the time. And you can even check, like, just as an activity, if you haven't seen it before, check who is the last people to view your profile. You'll be very surprised, most likely, you'll be very surprised to see who's viewing your profile. So we're going to break the sections down. We talk about the introduction section, the who you are, the experience section, and the supplemental sections. So the introduction part is the first thing that people see when they click on your profile, right? So the biggest thing is you never get a second chance to have a first impression, because someone might even be thrown off and not even click on your profile because it's not drawing them. Like, it doesn't look like you have what they're looking for. And the first important thing is to have a professional headshot. The number of selfies I've seen as profile pictures on LinkedIn is very surprising. It's very, very surprising. But the point is that, think of it, if a recruiter is looking for pictures, they won't exactly be drawn to yours if you have a selfie, because it shows from the onset that you're not serious about what you're doing. You're not serious about your image. So this, I actually didn't have a headshot until like last year, but I was able to take at least a high quality image of me dressed somehow professionally and use that as my profile picture. So the point is, don't use something that's so obviously like you're not even paying attention, or don't not have a picture. That's also a big throw off. So as much as you can, if you haven't yet gotten your headshot, at least have a picture that looks professional somehow. And then there's your cover photo. I will say, in fact, disclaimer before I go any further, what I'm saying is what I have learned and what I prefer. So take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I've seen that has worked for me. So you might have a different opinion or, you know, different ideas, but what I'm sharing is just what I think. So for your cover image, this was actually inspired by a workshop I attended by a LinkedIn professional. And she really emphasized like having a quote on your cover photo shows a lot of personality, and it can also draw someone to your profile. So this is my favorite quote right here. And I was sure to put, of course, my name and my major and my email, because it's not all the time that someone will scroll all the way down to find your contact information. So if it's right there in your cover image, that could be very, very convenient for them. Yeah, so have a cover photo that is very intentional, I'll put it that way. And I put a picture of myself just because I'm in research. And to someone who's in my field, just seeing this is a glove box, just seeing this is already like, oh, this person works in this field. Like it's a very big, it's very distinct for my field. And then the other thing is the header. So like King said, well, he's in tech. So I will say this differs based on the field that you're in. If you're in tech, the name of the company holds so much weight. So putting that in the header is very important. For me, I'm in research, and it's not as important to highlight, like, of course, putting where I've done my internships is important, but it's not like I'm working at companies where I can just put all the positions. So I prefer to have like a breakdown of the field that I'm interested in. And then the other thing that most people follow me on LinkedIn for, which is my international student enrichment projects. So this is how my header looks, because I feel like sometimes it could also get too crowded, and then it's not that, in fact, when people are like looking at your, how can I put it? If they're looking at your profile and they haven't yet connected with you, they only see like the first few characters of your heading. So it's not that they can see the whole thing, right? So it's also really important. What comes first is really important. So I put what my major is, what school I'm at, the type of research I'm interested in, and my other pursuits. And yeah, you just have to be very intentional. Think of who's viewing your profile. What do they want to see based on the field that you're in? And then this part here is also really important. This is the place I'm working at right now and the school I'm at right now. So you can highlight the top places that you're at, so that when someone just clicks on your profile, they can see what you're doing and things like that. Okay. Then the next part is who are you section. And this is the part right after the header of your profile, and there's your about. So the point is, not everyone is going to read your about. In fact, I'm of the opinion that people just scroll through and don't even read it. And it's mostly because it's just like everything that's already on your profile written in words. Like it's like, oh, I am a chemistry major. It's already in your heading. I am a chemistry major. I have interned at this. They can see that just by scrolling through your profile, right? So another thing I learned from that session that I referred to that I attended was that you have to make it interesting because, you know, like you have to make people read it. You have to make people read your about. So I put like a short story, and I don't know, I wish I could do some kind of analysis to see who reads it because I'm very interested. But the point is, it's not something that's useless because it doesn't have information that's already there on the rest of my profile. So make people read you about. You know how it is if you want to draw someone, those who are on social media, what makes you read a post? What makes you, it's usually like, oh, the first few lines are like eye-catching, you know, like I fell out of a plane and I survived, you know, stuff like that. So you also have to use that for your profile and put yourself in the shoes of people who are viewing your profile. And then the next part is the featured section. And I didn't even think of how powerful this is until I attended the session I went to. I should really give credit to those people because I learned a lot from it. But the point is that when people are scrolling through your LinkedIn, there's a part for your posts. But that's usually very crowded because it shows your posts, your reposts, and like things that you were tagged in and stuff like that. So it's not like someone is like, oh, what does this person post about on a daily basis? And then goes through your posts and is scrolling through. If someone does that, I'll be very surprised. But your featured section allows you to put your top posts. So if someone is scrolling through, they will see these posts. And I use these three because they're very important to like what I am doing. So this is about the research I do, lithium metal batteries. This is about conferences, which is really important for STEM in general, I would say. And then this is about the website that I built. And so it's just like, oh, what do I want people to see that I've posted about? And they can easily click on this and say, oh, okay, lithium metal batteries. And maybe that can make them like, you know, really see like, oh yeah, this is actually, okay, this person is actually actively doing what I want them to do if I'm a recruiter, or oh, this person is doing research that I'm also doing if I want to like learn more about the field. So be very intentional about the featured section, but it's really powerful because you get to show people like highlights of your career and your journey. The next part is your experience section. And the biggest thing about this is sometimes people put like 3 paragraphs under the description of the work that you do. And the point is no one is spending hours on your profile. No one is going to sit down. And this also goes to the resume, the CV. Like if you write whole paragraphs, it's very hard for people to like absorb the information. So the biggest thing that I learned is to use point form or short sentences and to really emphasize the skills that you have, right? Okay, so the best thing is it's not very likely that like if I'm doing research, say I'm making electrolyte, which I do. Okay, I'm making this electrolyte and I use this, let's say, okay, yes, I'm making solid state electrolyte. If I'm putting it on my profile, people want, it's not like a recruiter will be like, oh, she's made electrolyte, she's perfect for the role. It's more of, oh, the skills that she used to make the electrolyte are what I need for the role. So the most important thing is for you to emphasize the skills that you gain from the thing that you did. And of course, this is also, oh, wrong side. It's also emphasized in the skills section, of course. But the biggest thing is if you put a whole bunch of words that only make sense to someone who's doing the project you're doing, it most likely won't be as beneficial. So really emphasize the skills that you have from the thing that you did, as opposed to just like breaking down your whole project, like having a thesis on your LinkedIn, because no one is going on your LinkedIn to read your thesis. So again, long story short, put yourself in the eyes of the people who are reading your profile. What would they want to see? What do they want to get out of your profile? And that's really, really important. And the other thing is there are a lot of supplemental sections that are not necessarily like compulsory, but they could add a lot to your profile. And the fact is, this is your profile. If someone is sitting there scrolling through your profile, they're interested to learn more about you. So basically, this is your ground. They're on your ground. And you get to put as much as you can. It's not limited like a resume or a CV. You have all this space to just highlight things. And even if someone is just like scrolling through in 2 seconds, they get to see a whole lot about who you are, right? The first thing is licenses and certifications. And this LinkedIn also does a thing where it's able to display like certifications from other platforms as well. Like one of the certificates I have is from EDX, which is not LinkedIn. And then I have a certification from LinkedIn also. But this shows, because I'm not a computer science person, but I know it's useful somehow in the research I want to do, right? So I'm showing them like, oh, I'm actually active about gaining these skills and taking these steps to be better for the field that I'm interested in. The other thing is projects. And this is a point where you can highlight again different things that, because again, no one is scrolling through all your posts to see what you've done. But if you have it under your projects, they can easily see it just by scrolling through your LinkedIn. So I highlighted the website again, I highlighted the poster presentations, and I also highlighted my YouTube channel, not showing because it's on the other side. But yeah, you get to highlight the biggest things. I think this would be very big for tech people, if I'm not mistaken, because I know, well, from the sessions we've had, this month, that projects are a really important part of what you do. So this is a chance to highlight those things very easily, just putting them on your profile. And you can also link a post to them. So this is what I did. I highlighted it and then I linked the post. I linked the post that I made to it so people can easily click on it and then go and see the post. So you're leading people to the post so you can see more about your project. And then the other thing is recommendations. And I didn't really see the usefulness of having LinkedIn recommendations until I attended the same session that taught me a lot about LinkedIn. But again, if a recruiter is scrolling through your LinkedIn, this could add a lot to who you are, especially if the people who are recommending you are like maybe well-known in the field, or they are where you want to be. So it's really important to ask for recommendations. It only takes a few minutes. For me to get this recommendation, I just sent a message. I invited the people and I was like, oh, would you be willing to write me a LinkedIn recommendation? And they did it. So this could be a very valuable addition to your LinkedIn. And then the other thing is organizations. Again, I didn't really think this was useful, but one of the opportunities that I got was because I was part of an organization, and they wouldn't have known if I didn't have it under organizations on LinkedIn. So again, you never know who's looking. You never know what benefit that you get from having these organizations listed on your LinkedIn. So again, these are not compulsory in any way. It's just that if someone is on your space, why not bombard them with everything that you've ever done and with all the good things that they should be looking for when they look at your profile. And then the other thing is posting. So I want you guys to think about it. The people you follow, when you're scrolling through LinkedIn, what makes you actually look at the post? Because I'm sure we don't just like read every single post that you meet on, like that's just not how it is. And the fact is, even though I would like to think so, people don't know my name. It's not like the people who follow me, like when they just see my name, Kutemwa, like, oh, this person. In fact, half the time I'm not even looking at the name of the post. We're looking at the post itself. And that's what draws us to see it. So again, put yourself in the shoes of the people who you're trying to reach on LinkedIn. And the biggest thing on LinkedIn is your post having value. So if you want to have amazing posts and you want to actually benefit the people who are following you, because people connect with you because you are offering some kind of value. People don't just connect with anyone. Otherwise, we would all have everyone have a connection, right? So you're offering some kind of value. So are you answering a question? Are you providing advice? Are you providing valuable insights? So think about it. Even when you post, like, of course, there's some posts, and we'll get to the celebration part. Some posts are just, oh, this summer, the internship was amazing, and I want to thank all these people, But other times, it's like, oh, I learned this thing about tech interviews, and I want to share it, right? And find that there's maybe a freshman who doesn't know anything, who sees the post and is like, oh, I want to keep learning from this person. So this is an opportunity for you to offer value to the people who are seeing, your LinkedIn posts. The next thing is it has to be eye-catching. Again, when people are scrolling through, half of them don't even know your name, or maybe they don't even stay on the post long enough to see your name, right? So you have to make it eye-catching. You have to have either a picture of yourself so people can recognize you, or you could have just like a very interesting caption, like that example of, oh, I fell out a plane and I survived at the very top. So it's like, oh, how did this person survive? And they actually get to read it. And then is it just generic? There are so many generic LinkedIn posts, like bots are all over the place. And you don't want your post to like fall into the cracks because you're not making it you. You're not making it stand out. And you're not giving people a reason to want to see your post. Of course, there's celebrations, you have an achievement and you want to share it. One thing that I really noticed from posting my stuff on LinkedIn is that the more I engaged with other people's posts and celebrated what they were doing, they celebrated my posts all the more. So it's like people don't really have a reason to be happy for you, honestly. Let us break it down. If they're not your friend, if they don't know you personally, it's not like they're just like scrolling through, oh, this random person has an internship. Wow, celebrate, happy. Okay. It's more of, oh, I know this person. I'm so happy that they've done all of these things. Or, oh, this person shared a post last time that really helped me. Okay, like, oh, I see what they're doing. So the first thing is, how strong is your network? Do you celebrate others too? Because that's what leads to them also coming to celebrate your achievements. And then also, even the way that you share the achievement is really important, because like I said before, people are not just like, they don't know your name most likely, right? So it's more about what you're sharing. Maybe even in your celebration, you're still offering tips and you're still offering value. But again, put yourself in the post of people who are scrolling through your LinkedIn. And this is the last slide, but I wanted to talk a little bit about there's one post that I posted on LinkedIn that has gotten the most traction. Even today, like as I speak, I saw someone like reacted to the post. And I was very surprised, honestly. I did not expect this. But one of the biggest things is there are a lot of valuable posts on LinkedIn, but not all of them get traction. And that's just a fact. Like I've come across so many posts that are like amazing. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. 2 reactions. Like, people are not really seeing it because first of all, they're not being drawn to it, right? So the biggest thing is to have something that catches people's attention. And I think for this, what does it is like already outlining what it is. It's a website launch. So in this case, it's not like a picture of me so people know who I am. Of course, there's like a tiny picture up there, but it's more about the value that the post is offering. And it's more about easily being able to see like, oh, what's actually there. So you're showing them. People are very lazy. They're not going to like be, oh, I don't get this. Let me read the caption. It's more of, oh, this caption is interesting. I want to see more. Or, oh, this picture makes me want to read more, right? So again, the first line again is like really important, because are you making people want to continue reading your profile? And I will say one thing about LinkedIn's algorithm is it's not as shallow as Instagram and Facebook. Because by the way, I am a very social media person. I'm sure I've noticed by now. But I really pay attention to how posts do and things like that. And I noticed that LinkedIn is not partial. Like Instagram really pushes specific posts, like it's like you have this post. I don't know how to explain. Anyway, LinkedIn is very much based on not how often. It's based on, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if something is just posted, people will see it. It's not like, oh, it's only pushing certain posts because you have a lot of followers, or it's only pushing certain posts because of this. Like LinkedIn is like one of the rarest places I've seen. Because even if you go and scroll right now, you most likely see something that someone posted like 2 seconds ago, or like it gives everyone an equal chance. So the point is, are you utilizing that? And are you making people read your posts? And hashtags are very relevant because people search a lot on LinkedIn and like other places where it's like, oh, I know this person and I'm looking for this person. So it's really important that you have that. And yeah, at this point, this is the end of the presentation, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions, and I'll be very happy to respond on LinkedIn. But I'll hand back over to the meeting chairs.
Yep, fantastic. Thank you for that. Those were amazing presentations. And now we're heading over to our resume review